Indio is a city in Riverside County, California, United States, located in the Coachella Valley of Southern California's Colorado Desert region. It lies 23 miles east of Palm Springs, 77 miles east of Riverside, and 127 miles east of Los Angeles. It is about 98 miles north of Mexicali, Baja California on the U.S.-Mexican border. The word Indio is Spanish for Indian. The population was 76,036 in the 2010 United States Census, up from 49,116 at the 2000 census, an increase of 55%. Indio was once referred to as the hub of the valley, the Chamber of Commerce jingle in the 1970s. And today the jingle is the city of festivals because of all the special events held in town. History. Railroad line construction east out of Los Angeles began in 1873. Trains were operated to Colton on July 16, 1875, and to Indio on May 29, 1876. Moving on eastward from Indio, the railroad reached the west bank of the Colorado River opposite Yuma on May 23, 1877. There was delay in getting military authority to lay tracks across the Yuma Indian Reservation, and it was September that year before the bridge was completed so trains could operate into Yuma. The Southern Pacific Railroad was to have joined those of the Texas and Pacific, one of several railroads then holding, or seeking, federal authority to build lines from various sections of the country west to the Pacific coast. But the railhead of the T&P was at a standstill far off in Texas, so Southern Pacific continued building eastward. The city of Indio came about because of the need of a halfway point for the Southern Pacific Railroad between Yuma, Arizona and Los Angeles. The engines needed to be refilled with water. At first, the would-be city was called Indian Wells, but because of so many other areas already called that, Indio, after a Spanish variation of the word Indian was chosen. After the railroad's arrival in 1876, Indio really started to grow. The first permanent building was the Craftsman-style Southern Pacific Depot Station and Hotel. Southern Pacific tried to make life as comfortable as it could for their workers in order to keep them from leaving such a difficult area to live in. At the time, it was at the center of all social life in the desert, with a fancy dining room and hosting dances on Friday nights. While Indio started as a railroad town, it soon became agricultural. Onions, cotton, grapes, citrus and dates thrived in the arid climate due to the ingenuity of farmers finding various means of attaining water, first through artesian wells, and later through the valley's branch of the All-American Canal. However, water also was a major problem for Indio, and the city was flooded several times until the stormwater canals were created throughout the Coachella Valley. Businessmen and women found this last frontier land of the continental United States as an ideal place to start fresh. Dr. Harry Smiley and his wife Nell were early residents and stayed in Indio after their car broke down on the way to Los Angeles and became people of influence and helped shape the area. A.G. Tingman was an early store owner and first postmaster of Indio, but also well known for taking advantage of miners as they headed to the mountains, selling at rather high prices. Later Drive. June Robertson McCarroll became a leading philanthropist as well as successful doctor in Indio. She was responsible along with the Indio Women's Club for pressing California into adopting the placing of white lines down the streets after she nearly got hit one too many times by passing vehicles. But even though these early founders of the city are considered pioneers, they still partook in the lifestyles of their friends living in such areas as Los Angeles. Indio established itself quickly and kept up with all the trends as they were brought in by the railroads. By the turn of the 20th century, Indio was already more than a fading railroad town. Schools were built, the La Casita Hospital provided medical services, and families established roots. This was the growth of a city, not just a railroad town. By 1920, about 1 to 2,000 year-round residents lived in Indio, while it can double to 2,500 to 5,000 during the winter months and was advertised as a health resort for senior citizens and those with respiratory diseases and ailments in the rest of the 20th century. Indio also served as the home of the USDA's date station, a place where leading scientific research was taking place on the fruit that would become a major part of the culture of Indio. The station started in 1907 and was responsible for the ability of local farmers to better understand this unique crop and make the Coachella Valley a leader in American date crops. This also created a tie to the Middle East that led to the theme for the county fair with the Middle Eastern flair. Coachella and Thermal were soon larger cities than Indio, but Indio remained the hub of the valley, as it was called. With the burning of the majority of Thermal and the decline of Coachella, Indio grew again. By 1930, Indio was a thriving area and incorporated. On September 6, 1930, storekeeper Fred Kohler received the first business license in Indio. Indio was also aided by the visiting soldiers from Patton's training grounds in Chiriaco Summit, located 30 miles to the east. However, Indio saw another decline as the valley's population began to move west towards newer cities such as Palm Desert. However, now there is a reversal in this trend and the eastern section of the valley is poised to once again become the center of the Coachella Valley. The city had significant unemployment rates in the late 20th century and from the recession in the late 2000s. The rate in 2006 was under 5% after the local economy rebounded in the real estate boom when more affluent residents moved in. The rapid population growth fueled the city's present need for employment opportunities. Geography. Indio is located at 33 degrees 43 minutes 12 seconds north, 116 degrees 13 minutes 55 seconds west, 33.72000 degrees north, 116.23194 degrees west, 33.72000 minus 116.23194. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city has a total area of 75.6 square kilometers, 99.97% of which is land and 0.03% is water. The telephone area code is 760. The city's zip codes are 92,201 and 92,203 north of Interstate 10. About 3 miles north and east of Indio is the San Andreas Fault, a major tectonic plate boundary of the Pacific and North American plates. Indio is home of Riverside County's Eastern Administration officers. Palm Springs had more people from 1955 to 1992, when the U.S. Census announced Indio surpassed Palm Springs and that title was returned to them. The official elevation of Indio is below sea level. The city hall is 14 feet below sea level, as the eastern half of the Coachella Valley drops as low as 150 feet below sea level south of Indio. Climate. The climate of the Coachella Valley is influenced by the surrounding geography. High mountain ranges on three sides contribute to its unique and year-round warm climate, with some of warmest winters west of the Rocky Mountains. Indio has a warm winter, hot summer climate. Its average annual high temperature is 89.5 degrees Fahrenheit and average annual low is 62.1 degrees Fahrenheit, but summer highs above 108 degrees Fahrenheit are common and sometimes exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit, while summer night lows often stay above 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Winters are warm with daytime highs often between 68 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Under 4 inches of annual precipitation are average, with over 348 days of sunshine per year. The hottest temperature ever recorded there was 125 degrees Fahrenheit on July 6, 1905. The mean annual temperature is 75.8 degrees Fahrenheit. Nature and wildlife. Indio is in the Colorado Desert region of the Sonoran Desert. It is adjacent to the geologic Salton Sink and within the site of historic Lake Cahuilla of the lower Colorado River Valley. Indio is an official national bird sanctuary, because of the seasonal bird migration flight routes that cross the town en route to the Salton Sea. Geography of the Colorado Desert. Fauna of the Colorado Desert. Sonoran desert wildflowers. Demographics. 2010. The 2010 United States Census reported that Indio had a population of 76,036. The population density was 2,604.9 people per square mile. The racial makeup of Indio was 46,735 white, 1,805 African American, 741 Native American, 1,693 Asian, 55 Pacific Islander, 22,394 from other races, and 2,613 from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 51,540 persons. There were 23,378 households, out of which 10,522 had children under the age of 18 living in them. 13,149 were opposite-sex married couples living together. 3,578 had a female householder with no husband present. 1,512 had a male householder with no wife present. There were 1,654 unmarried opposite-sex partnerships, and 232 same-sex married couples or partnerships. 3,859 households were made up of individuals and 1,777 had someone living there alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 3.21. There were 18,239 families. The average family size was 3.60. The population was spread out with 22,879 people under the age of 18, 7,247 people aged 18 to 24, 20,705 people aged 25 to 44. 15,793 people aged 45 to 64, and 9,412 people who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 32.2 years. For every 100 females there were 97.3 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 94.5 males. There were 28,971 housing units at an average density of 992.5 per square mile, of which 15,274 were owner-occupied, and 8,104 were occupied by renters. The homeowner vacancy rate was 5.0%, the rental vacancy rate was 12.5%. 46,780 people lived in owner-occupied housing units and 28,307 people lived in rental housing units. During 2009 to 2013, Indio had a median household income of $50,068, with 21.9% of the population living below the federal poverty line. 2000. As of the census of 2000, there were 49,116 people, 13,871 households, and 11,069 families residing in the city. The population density was 1,840.3 people per square mile. There were 16,909 housing units at an average density of 633.6 per square mile. The racial makeup of the city was 44.4% white, 2.8% black, 1.0% Native American, 1.5% Asian American, 0.1% Pacific Islander, 42.0% from other races, and 3.9% from two or more races. 65.7% of the population were Hispanic or Latino of any race. There were 13,871 households, out of which 48.2% had children under the age of 18 living with them, 55.9% were married couples living together, 16.7% had a female householder with no husband present, and 20.2% were non-families. 16.0% of all households were made up of individuals, and 7.0% had someone living there alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 3.5 and the average family size was 3.9. In the city, the population was spread out, with 35.3% under the age of 18, 11.1% from 18 to 24, 29.4% from 25 to 44, 15.2% from 45 to 64, and 9.1% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 27 years. For every 100 females there were 101.2 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 98.8 males. The median income for a household in the city was $34,624, and the median income for a family was $35,564. Males had a median income of $25,651 versus $21,093 for females. The per capita income for the city was $13,525. About 16.8% of families and 21.5% of the population were below the poverty line, including 28.2% of those under age 18 and 12.0% of those age 65 or over. Hispanic enclave Indio's population is 68% of Hispanic origin. The Mexican-American presence in Indio dates back for over a century, since the arrival of truckeros or railroad laborers employed by Southern Pacific, settled in Indio by 1910. The need for farm labor, construction, golf resorts and domestic jobs in the Palm Springs area is responsible for turning Indio to a magnet for Mexican immigrants. Population growth in the past quarter century, Indio has grown many times its previous size. Indio handles unprecedented growth for being a select area of choice for thousands of new residents per year. An estimated 25 new residents are added per day. City leaders and other locals are expanding city public services, including recreation activities, commercial retail centers and industrial complexes. The 2010 United States Census recorded the city's population to be about 76,000 residents, but doesn't estimate seasonal residents. Economy. Two major contributions to the local economy are year-round agriculture and tourism. Although the majority of tourist activity is seasonal between October and May, agriculture Indio has been one of Southern California's most important agricultural regions, once responsible for a large percentage of the nation's date crop. However, with all the new residential and recreational development, the date groves are now more limited to the south and southeast of Indio. Even the grove of date palm trees at the Riverside County Fair and National Date Festival grounds have been torn out by the county. Travelers from around the world still can stop by Shields Date Gardens, a date grower that maintains a large retail store along State Highway 111 in Indio. There are citrus groves and vegetable fields surrounding the city limits, but rapid development of new housing tracts and golf courses in the East Valley in the 1990s and 2000s has displaced most of the agricultural space. Employment and job growth. In recent years, Indio served as a magnet of job opportunities for immigrants and newcomers from parts of California and across the nation. Job fields, such as agriculture, construction, hospitality, maintenance, and retail and housekeeping are highly needed in the area. In fact, light industry is not a new thing in Indio. In the 1960s, 1970s and early 1980s, the Bank of America-owned Janini Research Institute, Kaiser Inc., and Cabazon Firearms had contracts with both NASA and the U.S. Armed Forces that produced ammunition, computer parts, Moon rover parts for the Apollo landing program and train engines for the Southern Pacific Railroad. Indio sought more corporate businesses and office professions, including fruit packing and shipping firms. Locally based United States Filter Corporation, Guy Evans Inc., Dim Fruit Co., West Coast Turf and Japanese-owned Sunworld Inc., and moving companies such as Borden, Coca-Cola, Ernie Ball, Ernst & Young, Ferguson, Fulton Distributors, Guthrie Renker, Konami, Poulter Homes, Sunrise Company, Sunscape Tech and Teller Industries choose Indio for the location of transport routes, low economical costs and growth potential. Top employers. According to the city's 2009 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, the top employers in the city are Native American Gaming. 2 Native American-owned casinos in and near Indio at the Fantasy Springs Resort Casino, owned by the Cabazon Band of Mission Indians, and the Spotlight 29 Casino, owned by the 29 Palms Band of Mission Indians.